guys, I'm here with Aaron Wolfe, youth pastor at Spring Creek Assemblies of God, and we're going to be talking about some tips and some tools, and this guy's got a couple for you. So I want to first talk about something you're really passionate about, which is something that is coming up right now, which is fifth grade promotion. It's always a big question as to how do we bridge that gap between kids' church and youth ministry. So you've got some cool things you guys have been doing, so share that with us.
Yeah, so as probably with everybody, I spent years just being frustrated every summer with the parent that I had known for a long time and then suddenly said, hey, I don't think my kid's ready. This feels too soon. They're too young. I don't want to send them. And it was just frustrating, and I would just be mad at the parents all the time. Or I would have this idea that a kid should just show up to youth. You're going to love it. Like, I'm so convinced that youth is great that I'm like, just show up. And they're going to show up and love it. But it's so different from what they're used to that we just have been having talks this last year. So we have an incredible kids pastor named Jamie. Josh is our Family Life pastor. So we got in a room and just said, okay, let's answer a few questions. How do we help a fifth grader be ready for sixth grade? It's coming into youth. How do we help a parent be ready? And then what steps can we take during the year to work up to that? Because we were at first thinking, my frustration was, man, if kids ministry was cooler, right, they would like it better. It would be an easier transition. So I don't want to work with kids ministry. It's not cool. But honestly, there's this like disconnect because, and I'm a youth pastor, I can say this, we have all these young, arrogant men running youth ministries, and then we have these moms running kids ministries, and there's no relational connection. And so there's just this disconnect. And I just wanted them to get on our page, right? Just be youth is cool. Just get the kid in the door. They're going to think it's great. But it's such a huge gap between what they're used to and what youth is that we're just expecting to make this huge jump. And so we said, okay, how do we make this a walkable bridge where they can get there easier? And so we just started talking through those questions. How do we get them ready? And so a few things we're doing for a fifth grade student, we want to have points where they're encountering other youth students that they're going to meet, and when they're encountering me, so I'm not new to them, I'm not scary. And so I go back into kids ministry. I've been in the fifth grade small group on a Sunday morning. I've helped with part of a lesson. So I'll be in kids ministry, so there's relationship there. There's incredible partnership because Pastor Jamie with our kids ministry is using our teenagers to lead small groups, so they're being developed, they're being trained. It's benefiting youth ministry. But also, these fourth and fifth graders are getting to meet these high school students, and so they're pumped to come on a Wednesday and see their small group leaders that they're not friends with and that they know. And so we started on Sundays creating that connection. And then we've added this last year a 6-8 service, so 6th through 8th grade service. The best part about that is that it just creates this really natural progression. A parent is pumped that there's something for their kid to go to. Even though for years I would say, yes, there's something for them. It's called youth group. What do you have for sixth graders? Youth group. Come to youth group. And I would just be so frustrated. Like, we have something, it's for them. And I still believe that youth group is great for middle schoolers. Like, we do small groups, and we break them out in ages so they feel comfortable. But parents just want, what's something for my 11-year-old who I'm terrified to send with all these, smelly high schoolers and all these guys, like all these things going on. And so 6-8, we just kind of create this hybrid. We're using orange curriculum. So it's not adding another thing I'm writing each week. Now I'm adapting that and I'm the one teaching it, but I'm not having to write new lessons. It is just this really cool hybrid of like a Sunday school class, a worship service, and a small group. And so we have new leaders involved because of it. We do some kind of game to break the ice. I teach for 10 or 15 minutes. We do a worship song or two, and then they go in groups. And so they're getting so much of what they would get on a Wednesday, so much of what they're going to get in youth in an environment they're comfortable with, and we're getting to be age and phase specific. Orange talks a lot about the phases of life that they're in. And man, the phase of a middle schooler is intense. Like the change they're going through emotionally, physically, sociologically, like just all the things that are happening with their change in school and their change in age. We're getting to just minister just to them, and it's been just awesome.
Okay, now what about that promotion? Is there like a specific date, like when all that happens, that transitions, or is that a period that they kind of transition over time, or is it a specific date?
Yeah, so there will be a set date when they'll start in 6-8 on Sundays and in youth on Wednesdays, and that's in August. So we used to do that in June, and it was awful. So we would do it right after school, and just didn't make sense in what was happening with youth in the summer, right? We're going on trips. We got camp. They're not going to camp with us that year. They're not going on missions trips. So they're missing out on all these things. They're kind of in service, kind of not. And then it made more sense with school starting for them to start a promotion with school. So in August, right before school starts, they'll move up on a Sunday. They'll move up on a Wednesday. Okay. But this next Wednesday, so the beginning of summer, first week of June, is a 5th grade preview night. So parents and 5th graders are coming to our youth service because I told parents for years, if you would just come, you're going to see that it's not as scary as you think. Like, your kid can stay out for a few weeks. Totally fine. You come see a youth service and then tell me what you think. I want to hear your thoughts anyway. But I want you to see that it's not as scary as you think it is. And so this is a great way for a 5th grader to come in and feel comfortable because mom and dad's there with them. It helps mom and dad feel comfortable. I get to meet them. And I've just started communicating with parents a lot better. Parents used to feel like the enemy because I would only talk to a parent when they're mad. Like, I'm getting a call, why didn't you fix my kid? They're doing this. Or, you got to help them. They never come, but they need you. Like, all these things. There's just always I had done something wrong. And so I realized that in kids ministry, parents are getting communicated with all the time. They're dropping their kid off and they're picking their kid up. They know the kids' pastors. They know
flyers.
Yes, they're getting handouts. Because of their age, they have to have that. Now, I want students to start taking responsibility. I want students, if you're 15, you should tell your mom what's coming up.
Yep.
However, that 5th grade to 6th grade transition, I got to be better connected with parents and see them as a resource. And Orange has been a huge help with that. I'm not plugging Orange. There's a lot of great curriculums, but Orange is really great about helping you see that our biggest role in the church is to equip mom and dad to disciple their home.
Yep.
That doesn't stop in kids. That's all the way through. Like, the time we get with them is so limited, but the time mom and dad have with them is so huge. Yep. And so we want to keep partnering with parents and being on their team. So I want to lead parents better and be with parents more. And this bridge has really helped me see that. Like, that's a change for me.
Now, are you guys using Orange in kids ministry?
Yeah, so Orange is in our kids and in our 6-8. So we don't use curriculum in high school, but the principals are carrying over.
That's a curriculum that flows.
Yeah, it makes great sense for mom. And it's even funny, like, so my son is a 6-year-old, and this is the great thing about working with Pastor Jamie and kids. Her 2 kids that are at home are in my youth ministry. My kids are in her kids ministry, and there's just this incredible partnership and unity that's happening. But my kid was coming home and telling me what he learned about resilience. Well, I just thought about resilience in 6-8 ministry. So Orange is seeing that and obviously communicating in different ways. Yep. But it's been cool.
Okay, so let's walk through this. So if I'm a parent of a 5th grader, okay, I'm going to come to a service in June.
Yep.
Do I bring my 5th grader?
Yeah. So this preview night, which is happening next week, like I said, beginning of June, there's a preview night that is mom and dad and the kid. You guys come together. Both of them get to kind of test the water, see what it's like, get that experience. I'll have a few minutes with them after service just to, give them a high five, answer any questions, welcome them. And then we're inviting our 5th graders to a 6-8 hangout in July. So we have a 6-8 hangout. We do them every quarter, something fun with our 6-8. We're going to bring those 5th graders along. All those things are happening before they've gone to their first youth service in August.
So there's a preview night kind of in June with parents.
Yep.
And then in July, there's a social hangout.
Yep. It's out of church. We're going to somewhere fun, do a bounce. Yeah.
And then August is the official transition out.
Yeah.
Is there another special event or something like that on that when they officially kind of join?
I mean, we'll make that night fun for them. We take their Sonic drink when they come in the door. And so when they leave that night, they got a Route 44, their favorite Sonic drink. Like, we hype them up. But by that time, ideally, they have not only friends their own age, other middle schoolers that they've gotten to meet these hangouts, but they have older youth students. We don't have a one-on-one mentor program, but I have a whole handful of youth students that lead small groups on Sundays for kids that are looking for those kids, that are welcoming them in, helping them feel welcome, helping them feel comfortable. And I learned so much of this from my kids' preschool, which is crazy. So we sent one to preschool a couple years ago, and I have another one going into preschool this year, and they do this step-by-step process to help a kid get ready. So in August, our kid's preschool teacher is going to come to our house and meet our kid in our house. So when they first meet the teacher, they're in their most comfortable environment.
So smart.
And then they're going to have another day when mom and dad, so we get to take him to his class. He gets to see his class, see the teacher again with mom and dad there. And then the first day of school happens. And by that time, he knows her. He's connected. They're like, it's. I was like, this is so brilliant. Why are we not doing this every step? And I think a lot of it, there's just so many years I was banging my head against the wall going, you just don't get it. Youth is so cool. Just come, you'll get it. You'll see it's great. And I still believe it's great, but I was just not willing to say it's okay that these ministries are different. They should look different. They should look way, way different. So I don't need kids ministry to be cooler, and I don't need to dumb down youth ministry. They're meeting a need. I just got to build a bridge to help people get across it.
For sure. So on that Sunday morning, 6th, 8th class, is that a transition in August as well?
Yeah, so it'd be the same week. I believe with how one of our summer trips is going, we'll have a Wednesday with their first Wednesday in youth, and then that following Sunday, and it's all around when school starts. So school starts on a Thursday. They'll have a Wednesday and a Sunday back to back when they've transitioned. And some of them don't make that Wednesday transition right at first. We want it to happen, we push it, and we hope that the bridge really, really helps. But having 6-8 now has created this really cool environment where they're still getting that youth experience. They're still taking a step forward, and they're not, because before a kid wouldn't go to youth, so they just sit with their mom in service. They'd hold their mom's hand and be scared and sit in our main service. And so it's been a huge blessing. We have 3 Sunday morning services, and so they can go to the 10 o'clock service, or they can serve in the 10 o'clock service. We have all kinds of middle schoolers serving in kids, or serving in the coffee shop, or greeting at the door, and then they come to 6-8 in the 11:30. So it just creates that option for them.
Love it, man. So what would you say to the person that's considering this? Where should they start?
Yeah, so I say you start with building a relationship with your kids pastor. I think that's really a whole nother conversation in a lot of ways, but there's such a disconnect there in a lot of places. And I think if we can see how much we're on the same team with the same goals, even if we do it differently, that we help each other out. Because I think the more crossover you can have, the better. And I think that's every phase. Terry Parkman said that in a conversation. He said, you got to nail the transitions and you got to cross-pollinate. So my seniors in high school got to be part of my college ministry. And that's not this conversation, but so I need my kids pastor on board for those 5th graders to start feeling like part of youth, but I got to be reaching back also. So I got to be known in kids ministry. I got to be a huge champion of kids ministry, where we start building that relationship. So I think that's the first step.
You said when we were talking earlier that you actually have gone into kids ministry and taught a few times.
Yeah. And that we even have it scheduled coming up. I got to talk to Pastor Jane about what Sunday am I in there to come do part of the lesson. I've gone in because our kids ministry is awesome, and they're doing small groups. So I go into the 4th and 5th grade guys small group, and I don't got to take over. I just join them with their leaders, but I'm just in the room, and these kids get used to seeing me. I'll bring them donuts before, it's just a big win. Like I had a girl go home a year and a half ago when we did this, and she said, "Mom, he brought good donuts." It was like the smallest things.
Good kind.
Yeah, like the smallest things, just doing something to create that relationship and make them think, I want to do this. I would love to go to youth. This is cool.
It's a big jump.
Yeah.
Especially for parents.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes it's more of a big jump for the parents
100%.
than it is even for the kids. So that have that bridge where they can kind of slowly begin to get used to you, communicate, and even your communication style. And I love the fact that you're using that orange as kind of that bridge, because it's something that's comfortable, right? But it's being taught in your style, as opposed to the kids' style, which is going to be different, right? But it's similar content, similar material, but it's different style delivery. That's going to be a little bit of a bridge into what you guys are doing in youth. So good. Well, thank you so much, Aaron, man. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. Hopefully it's helpful to you, and we'll continue to bring you some more.